Want to find out what's going on in your community? El Observador is San Jose's bilingual weekly newspaper. Go to your local newsstand and pick up your free copy today. Looking for the skills and training you need to get a new career? Call CTC, the Center for Training and Careers, and start working towards that new career today. Call CTC in San Jose.
Good evening. I'm Cihuapilli Rose Amador, and this is Native Voice TV. Welcome to the show. This evening we're going to meet Earl Neconie, Earl Richard Neconie. Is that right?
That's correct.
And Earl, you are Kiowa?
Enrolled member of the Kiowa tribe of Oklahoma.
Of Oklahoma. Were you raised in Oklahoma?
No, I was lucky enough to be raised in Southern California because my father's from Oklahoma, Stecker, Oklahoma, and my mother's from Kauai in Hawaii, and they met halfway, and that would be San Diego, California. And my father was in the Marines at Marine Corps Recruit Depot in San Diego, and I was born in the Balboa Naval Hospital in San Diego. Oh, you were?
Right. Okay, so you were raised in San Diego area?
I was raised in the San Gabriel Valley, maybe about 2 hours north of San Diego, and I had the best of both worlds because my mother being from Hawaii, we would spend our summers in Hawaii, and towards the end of summer we would head out to Oklahoma with my dad's
nice. Family. So what was it like growing up being Native?
Well, I can remember one of the first times that I knew that I was Native was I was about 6 or 7 years old. My ball went over the fence. I climbed the fence to get the ball. As I was going back towards the fence, the gate, the neighbor caught me, and she grabbed me by the ear, pulled me over to the fence, and squeezed my neck in that fence. And she was saying, "Don't ever come back over here, you little red savage." And that was my first experience of being recognized as Native American. And it was my first experience of racism or just that it wasn't cool to be Indian back in the 60s.
And that really makes an impression on a kid.
It does,
you
definitely.
know, when, especially when an adult treats them like that. Wow. So were you raised, I guess, with Native activities, or did your parents keep you away from that? Do you speak the language?
I speak some of my Kiowa language, and then a lot of the Hawaiian pidgin, you know, that I picked up from my uncles, my aunties, my mom, and sign language as well for our Kiowa people, passed on by my dad, my aunties, and my uncles as well. And it's really a great opportunity to be able to live in both those worlds and gather as much culture as I can, and knowing both sides of my family has really been a plus.
Oh, that's good. Now, you're very involved in the community. I see you at all the powwows, right? And you're either the arena director, the announcer, but you're involved, you're gourd dancing. Tell me a little bit about everything that you've done.
Well, I started out as a singer. I sang with many of the drums, a lot of the well-known drums, Gray Horse Singers, Bad Medicine, Millard Clark, and my uncle's drum, No Name Singers. They were out of Fresno, Kingsburg, California, but they would sing Southern songs from Oklahoma. And so I started there, probably in the 90s, really getting involved with singing. And one day someone asked me to help out as an arena director because their arena director didn't show up. And I was just in shock at first. And I went over to my uncle and I said, you know, they asked me to be the arena director and I'm not sure what to do. My uncle said, just go over there and I'll tell you everything you need to know in about 10 minutes.
On the job training.
On the job training. And it was eye-opening and it was inspiring to have that knowledge, that being taught by my uncle. And a couple years later, they asked me to be an MC. Randy Burns with the Native American AIDS Project asked me to MC their powwow, and again, I went to my uncle. And
now, had your uncle been an arena director and announcer?
He had, and had a lot of knowledge and a lot of things that regarding protocol and how to project yourself and how to entertain. You know, he said that's the biggest thing. You don't want a powwow to go, you know, flat, and boring. You want to entertain them, and so he shared a lot of that information with me. And even as I was announcing, you know, my aunties, my uncles, they would send little notes over to me. Hey, you know, don't do this, don't do that, you know, try this, you know. So it was really helpful, and especially from a lot of the people, a lot of my relatives from Oklahoma, definitely helped out.
Because it's really a skill. I mean, because it's you know, it either comes natural or it doesn't.
Right,
you know,
right.
And you have to have the personality to make people laugh and educate people and just do a little bit of everything.
Well, it's very much a learning process, even while you're doing it, you know, and it's great to MC with another, a co-MC. You know, you really feed off of each other. The energy goes both ways, and I learn a lot from guys like Tom Phillips, Reuben Littlehead, Dale Oldhorn. You know, these are all people that I've worked with and admired, and you know, they've kind of helped me along the path of being an MC, arena director, and I think it's crucial that I started out as an arena director because I really, you know, understand the protocol, and I know what's coming up next. You know, and it's great to work with arena directors that have experience. You know, it's tough to be an MC when you're teaching an arena director.
Okay, we're talking about this like everybody knows what we're talking about. What's an arena director?
Arena director is the man, okay? They're the one in charge of that arena. They determine who's going to dance next, they determine who's going to sing, and they also determine who the judges are if it's a contest powwow. But the arena director is the one that runs the show. And basically, as the MC, I listen to whatever he directs. Whatever he says is next, is next.
So you go get the parties that are supposed to be there and let people know that they're next up to do whatever.
Right. And there's sometimes you'll get an arena director that isn't quite sure what is going to happen next. Like if you have a grand entry, you have the flag song, and then you have a veteran song, or you have a round dance, you know. All those flags, eagle staffs, head staff, they need to dance around the arena. And there's a couple of these drums that, you know, just won't, you know, let you know that this is what they're going to do. So you really have to be on your toes as an arena director and an MC, and you really need to communicate without words, but, you know, just a look or, you know, the wave of his hand or his stick, and to know what to tell the dancers to do, you know. So
I would guess that an arena director is a lot more physical.
Right,
than the
hands-on.
Right. So you have to run over there and get someone to do something.
And the MC is just the mouthpiece. You know, whatever the committee asks them to do, they usually have an agenda set up, and there's times when they don't have an agenda set up. That's where you have to ad lib, you know, you kind of go with the flow, you know, remember to entertain. You also have protocol. So it all comes together.
And you have to try and keep everything on schedule, too,
right,
and then they
right.
throw in more things for you to try and squeeze in.
I've been at a powwow where I was the arena director, and the MC says, okay, I know the powwow is supposed to be done, but, you know, let's have another round of intertribals. And that's where I, as the arena director, you know, have to step in, contact the committee, let them know, hey, we're contracted to 6 o'clock. You know, it's nice that we have great weather and everything, but, you know, some of these dancers have to get on the road. These singers have to get their drum back, you know, back home. And, you know, we want them to get there safely and not, you know, be rushing or get a ticket.
So what's the hardest thing you've had to deal with on either being an arena director or being an MC?
I think as an MC, you know, you're there. I mean, you're out there. Everybody sees you. Everything you do, it's so critical to make sure that you don't do anything wrong. You don't offend a tribe or a member of that tribe. and you're always on your toes. And I think the most difficult part is people that tap you on the shoulder while you're going through the program and interrupt you. That's really difficult. And there was a hand drum contest, and I was introducing the singers, and all of a sudden this guy taps me on the shoulder and says, "Hey, you want to hear the song I just composed?" And I was like, "Not right now," and I'm like, security. But it's really difficult for those people to understand that, I have a job, and, there's a sign-up list, and, the singers have all signed that list, and we're into the contest already. And so I go and take a break, I run to the porta potty, and who's out there waiting for me as I get out? This guy, and he starts singing to me. So this is one of my powwow stalkers that just really has to sing that song to me, right? And as funny as it might seem, it's kind of scary, because again, we're out there in front of the crowd all the time, and yet there's no me time, maybe just 5 minutes or 10 minutes that we
and you have
really
to be prepared for the next thing to say right away.
So we're kind of on a roll, and if something interrupts that roll, it's hard to get back on track sometimes.
You ever had the power go off?
I've had the power go off.
Lights go out?
Quite a few times. Again, no lights. And during a spotlight dance, that's where the one spotlight is on the dancer. I've had the spotlight go out.
That's where you get the flashlight out, right?
So a lot of things happen in that arena, and they happen for a reason. And it's just those things on the outside of the arena that, where I need some me time, or, with my wife time, or my relatives, that a lot of them come out to these powwows. And, it's kind of hard to separate from the MC to, Earl that does dishes and has a rabbit, so.
And a lot of kittens.
Right, and a lot of kittens too. Right.
So tell me about gourd dancing. Do you want to explain what it is?
Well, gourd dancing is one of the oldest styles of dance that we have as Kiowa people. This is where it started. And 800, 900 years, 1,000 years, we're not sure how old this style of dance is. And same with those songs that accompany that style of dance. These are songs that have been passed on and passed on. And the normal lead gourd singer has about 300 to 400 songs.
Wow.
In his head, and it's always good to dance to those ones that have Kiowa words. Those are the ones when, I had the privilege of dancing with my dad, my grandpas, my uncles, my cousins, and they would dance and they would hear these songs with Kiowa words. They would cry, and I never understood, as a younger gourd dancer, and then it hit me, those Kiowa words, and so the Kiowa Gourd Clan, I'm a member, and there's the Black Wolf Gourd Society. There's also the Golden State Gourd Society. Those are the three predominant gourd clans or gourd societies in California. And again, a lot of people were saying for years that the gourd dance, you had to be a member of the military. Well, the Kiowa Gourd Clan, which that's where it all started, says no. We've got several members of our gourd clan that are not members of the military.
And how does someone become a gourd singer?
Well, a gourd dancer is pretty much determined by the individual. And to become a member of the Kiowa Gourd Clan, you have to be Kiowa, and you have to be introduced by another gourd clan member. And you go out to Carnegie, Oklahoma, and you during the July 4th weekend, that's when we dance for 4 days. And out here in California, it's different. The gourd dance is at 11 o'clock.
Right.
10
o'clock
in the morning.
Before the powwow.
Right. You go back home, and the earliest is 2 o'clock. And so we dance till sun goes down. And so a lot of our new gourd dancers in Carnegie, they come out, their family members, other gourd clan members dance with them for those 4 days. And again, from 2 o'clock until sundown. And it's usually about that time, you know, food is all being prepared, all the camps, you know, so after the gourd dance is done, and again, the gourd dance doesn't go past sundown. Ah. And we've had a couple go past sundown, and I always get chewed out, you know, even though it's in California. I have Kiowa relatives that will pull me aside and say, hey, you know better, you know, and so again, some very strict rules when it comes to the Kiowa Gourd Clan.
So there's really a lot of education when it comes to so many different aspects of the powwow.
Right. The gourd dance has, as Kiowa Gourd Clan members, we have the responsibility to educate, to share the history, and to share the, I guess, ceremonial significance of the gourd dance. And those are the three things that we're taught as Kiowa Gourd Clan members. And to have that responsibility, that authority to share that, those three things is a lot of responsibility. And,
I can see that.
You know, there's been times where people have disagreed with me on a lot of those issues. But I have the Kiowa Gourd Clan behind me, you know, to back me up. Other Kiowa Gourd Clan members here in California.
So it's always a Kiowa gourd dancer that is the head gourd dancer at most?
At least for a lot of the powwows that I'm involved with, again, if there is no head gourd dancer, they usually turn to a local society or clan in the area. But many times, again, our Kiowa Gourd Clan members are asked to be head gourd dancers. But again, I've seen other tribes, other gourd societies, gourd clans also as head gourd dancers.
Oh, I see. Oh, thank you for the education. Since we're talking about this, would you like to sing a song?
Okay.
Okay.
This is a Kiowa hymn, and this is one of the ones that when my dad passed in 2008, my aunties, my uncles, and my cousins got up and we sang this song, you know, one of his favorites. We kado kado kadi on my gadome one mota ome on high gadome. We kado kado kadido one mota ome on high gado on high gado on high gadome. We kado kado kadi on my gedome, one mota ome, on high gedome. We kado kado kadido, one mota ome, on high gedo, on high gedo, on high gedome. We kado kado kadi on my gadome, on mota ome, on high gadome. Aho, aho.
Thank you. What an honor to have you sing that hymn.
Thank you.
Now, I have some pictures of you, one when you were a little boy, and maybe we can take a look at those and you can tell me what's going on here. Now, you were how old here?
This was my first grade picture.
Oh.
And you notice I have all my teeth.
About good smile.
This is about maybe a year before I had my 2 front teeth knocked out playing baseball.
Cute. Okay, what do we have picture. Next here? Okay, this was Stanford.
This is Stanford Powwow, 2009. I was the MC with Reuben Littlehead.
Wow, that's quite an honor.
We had a great time.
It's one of the biggest powwows here in Northern California. Okay, what else do we have? Okay.
And this is 2011, the Stanford Powwow. And I was asked to carry the United States Marine Corps flag in as part of the honor guard for the Stanford Powwow.
Oh, great. Were you in the Marine Corps?
I was in the Marines for 11 years, from 1975 1986. I was a 0861, which is a artillery scout, so calling in gunfire and naval gunfire, airstrikes, and artillery.
Okay, and this is Berkeley.
Yes,
right?
Indigenous Peoples Day. That was October 8th, and this is part of our gourd dance, and that's Gail Burns with a shawl walking in front of us. She's placing money in front of us, and that's one of the ways that we honor our gourd dancers, is placing money on the ground. And we just crumple it up and throw it on the ground, and when that song is finished, I have one of the people on my left or on my right pick that money up, and they take it over and place it on the drum, or they give that money to an elder or a family in need.
Oh, okay. The next picture. Now this, I think, the last one we have here, but this was where you were honored by KQED. Tell me about that.
Right. This right here, I was the MC for the KQED Native American Local Heroes. And we have Marvin Paddock, we have Aurora Mamea, we have Michael Duran, and we have, let's see, that's Nathan Costello or Nathan Leroy. And I was the MC for that event this past year. And KQED asked me to MC the event again this year. And they had a little surprise. They said, you were nominated and you won an award. And so we're going over the program, and I'm like, okay, wait, say that again.
So do I get to announce myself?
Yeah, and she says, again. And I said, so wait a minute. Wait, say that again?
Congratulations.
Thank you. It's always a great honor to MC an event like that, honoring other Native Americans. And, oh gosh, it was just a shock, and yet I'm really honored to receive that award.
What an accomplishment. That's really something. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Now, you also work, tell me what you do with your job.
I'm a program coordinator for United Indian Nations, and we've been in here in the Bay Area here for, gosh, since 1979. And we're now located in San Leandro, and we're a Workforce Investment Act program along with Community Service Block grants. And we also utilized Recovery Act funds. And our program ensures that a lot of our Native youth, our Native adults that have not completed high school, have them pursue a GED, high school degree, or onto a community college, and then onto a four-year college or university.
That's good.
Yeah, it's an excellent opportunity. We also provided jobs for a lot of our Native youth, ages 16.
Now, do you do training as well, or just the job placement?
Pretty much job placement. We assist with resume writing, cover letters. We assist with job search. And we also assist with getting these kids, foster care youth especially, back into the community, back with Native American households, and get them motivated to finish school. So that's...
So you give them supportive services so they can complete whatever they're doing.
Right. We have like bus passes, BART passes. We have clothing allowance, $150 in clothing, so that they can have clothes to go to school. Books are very important. Books are expensive.
That's for sure. So is college.
Right. And we try to help out as much as we can with the basic ed courses, and at vocational schools, and as well as community colleges. So we're definitely motivating them. That's the key.
Are you seeing a high dropout rate right now with the Native youth, or is there more of a push to go to finish school?
Well, there's a high dropout rate, and you would think it would be in high school. High dropout rate in 7th grade, 8th grade.
Whoa.
You know, before they even get to high school. So, and it's really showing up on those that fill out their job applications. You know, they're afraid to put down that they're a high school dropout. They really want to
And with everything being electronic, it's not like they can get away with that, just saying that anymore.
Even the food service jobs, McDonald's, Wendy's, these jobs require at least a GED.
Right.
You know, and to be competitive, high school diploma, and to be even more competitive, a little bit of college, you know, AA degree.
You can't even go into the military now without a GED, right?
Right, you're right.
Yeah,
And
it's not like the way it used to be, you know.
Right.
I mean, the kids really need to be serious about school, and to drop out at such a young age, they have to go back. They have to
So many of them think that they can just fall back on the military, and that's not the way it is. You know, it's really difficult.
Well, we have 1 minute left. Time's flying. But I really appreciate you coming on, and I appreciate all the work you do in the community.
Oh.
And it's always a pleasure to hear you out there at the powwows. Do you have a parting message for our youth?
Stay in school. Respect your elders. Develop a line of communication with your parents, your siblings, and stay in school.
Yeah, that's a good message. Thank you. And thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. And we'll see you out there on the powwow trail.
Ahoo, ahoo.
And we'll see you next week on Native Voice TV. Good night.
Turtle continent.